So in this video, I'm going to fill in some of the details that I usually are minor and I don't talk about because they're minor details, but I'm going to go through them anyways. So this is the time where I was just returning a library book and a police officer searched me. Now, it was like 90 degrees out. This is on a street with houses. It's the only street leading to the library. And in between these houses was the police station with the overhang in the shade. I didn't hang out or nothing. I had a library book. I got to the police station. I took a breath, put the library book on the I guess you'd call it the walk-in railing. It's like a cement railing. And like took like 5 breaths. It wasn't even maybe a minute. And of course this is a police station, so I'm on my way, you know what I mean? It's whatever. Cop comes out. He's had a bad day already. I don't know what it is. He's pissed off right coming out the door. I mean, not even with me, just pissed off. He asks me what I'm doing. I'm telling him I'm going to the library. I show him the book. I'm going to the library. And I'm about to go. I don't even start leaving yet, but I'm thinking in my head, I better go. This guy doesn't look too happy. At that point, he already puts his hands on me, puts me on this cement railing, starts putting my pockets inside out, finds nothing, cuffs me. You know, he doesn't even pay any attention to the book anymore. At this point, he's still searching me, flipping me around. I'm sweating. I'm hot. I'm being cooperative. I'm not arguing. I'm just got my mouth shut. Any drugs on you? No, sir. No drugs on me. Just cooperate. Staying silent while he puts his hands on me and moves me around. Empties my pockets, everything. Eventually, he starts walking me inside, and I say, am I under arrest? Am I being charged? Because I already asked before, you know, all this. And he said pretty much, no, there's nothing, you know, he's still searching me. But at this point, he says, no, but I'll make something up. And then he goes to proceed to bring me into the police station. Now, I'm not stoned, I'm not high. I've taken a max of maybe they were 1 milligram. They could have been 2 milligrams. They were the round Klonopins at the time. But I was prescribed Klonopins in the shelter. I had plenty of these Klonopins. They were counted. And if I wanted to get high, I could have left that shelter with my pills and got high and just went to another shelter. There's plenty of shelters that will take me when my bottle's empty. I didn't need to get high that day. I wanted to go to the library, rest, and use the computer and not have to pay for a book. I don't want to have to pay any fines for a book. I don't have any money. So, that's my plans. That's what I'm doing. I stop at the church. I get breakfast. I don't know where to eat breakfast. I don't know where to get the shade. It starts off a cool day, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's hot. By about 9 o'clock, it's hot. But at 8 o'clock, I'm trying to find a place to eat. This morning, the library I know isn't open, whatever time it is, and I'm asking people where I can get a bite to eat. So I find this church. I get these, actually it's from a bakery. They're like chocolate covered donuts on a stick and all these is actually bakery stuff. Wicked good food. I mean, if I brought a $20 bill around town, I couldn't get better food. Amazing. Amazing. I was already feeling the love that day. So I didn't really, whatever happened that day, it was a win. But there was a little old lady wandering around, looked like she was about to cry. So I asked her what was wrong. Why are you walking up to people and then walking away crying? She goes, I can't pick up my meds. I said, you can't. What's your name? She gives me her name. I walk away, I clear it. I talk to some of the people she was talking to. She really does have meds she can't pick up for ID, and they are hers. And so I'm like, okay. She's not trying to steal something. It's just whatever. So I go down. I told her, no, I don't want any money, nothing. I don't want anything. I don't want anything from you. Where are your meds? I have an ID. Where are your meds? Where do you got to go get these things? So I'm like, I don't know where, your stuff is. I'm not really great. I lived in a program around here. I know every under the bridge. I know every woody area. I can wander through every little back woody field. But as far as the main streets and Walgreens and roads where you would walk or drive, I had no clue. No clue. So she brings me to the pharmacy. I go to the pharmacy. I give them my ID. She picks up her meds. We walk out, whatever. She tries to hand me Xanax. I can't do anything with these Xanax. I can't. I argue with her. I think at one point I tried to give them back too. Yeah, I did. I did try to give them back. Eventually, she did give me one, but there was a problem. I have some rules. I'm not taking it. I already have Klonopin. I can't do anything with it. I believe I brought it back to church and gave it to somebody, but I really can't remember who I gave it to or how I got rid of it. I might have just given it back to the girl shortly after, because I kept on running into her while trying to find my way back to a main road. So I think that's what could have happened. I also could have just swallowed it like on the spot, but that wouldn't affect me at that time anyways. My normal tolerance for any benzo is about 5 milligrams. After that, I start looking wrecked. For like a buzz, my tolerance is about 4 milligrams. For making me better and actually move normal, it's about 2 milligrams, sometimes 3. I can take 3 and I'll look normal. I'll be fine, but I'll be drowsy. I'll be a little tired. 4, I'm drowsy, really tired. 5, very, very drowsy, starting to get a little bit of a buzz. After that, it's very noticeable and I don't like it. So, that didn't happen. But something much worse did. And by the way, like I said, I've taken plenty of Klonopins and Xanax. I've been prescribed them. I've gone as high as 10 milligrams. It's not a good thing. It wasn't on purpose I took 10 milligrams. I was like 13, 14 years old. I've seen people take so much. I even had a staff member in a hospital tell me that you can take 140 milligrams of Xanax and not die. Like, oh my God, don't give people goals. I mean, what the hell? Some of the stuff that's said in these places is completely nuts. Just don't mix it with opiates. You can take 120 of those things and you'll be fine and you won't die. But you mix that with opiates and you're gone. Why that first part? Anyways, so, yeah. So I'm walking in this heat. The cop's there. I deal with him. And guess what happens while dealing with him? He wants to just charge me for nothing. Nothing. No drugs on me, nothing. Now, don't forget that I do get prescribed a lot of medications. A lot. I've been prescribed 2 milligrams of benzos 3 times a day before, mixed with tranquilizers, Adderall, Ritalin, Risperidone, Seroquel, Thorazine, Trazodone, Lamictal, Tramadols, Vicodin, Percocet. That was all before 18, by the way. All before 18 is the list I'm giving. And these continued, a lot of them. At the time when the officer saw me, the list was Seroquel, Thorazine, Trazodone. During the day, it was no Adderall, but there was, what did I call that one? Oh my God. Wellbutrin. I also was taking Seroquel, and that was a small dose during the day, actually. There was 3 others during the day. Man. Klonopin. A couple others, too. I can't even think of them. Oh, there was Vistarol. That one's actually not that safe. I mean, that one's very safe. Vistarol is just souped up Benadryl, so I don't have much gripes about that one. I mean, Benadryl might be a little better, and I wouldn't suggest taking it on a long-term basis. I don't know why doctors think it's okay to give it a long-term basis. It's even Benadryl forever would be a problem. Um, anyway, so there's all different types of drug interactions going here, and don't forget, I also have something wrong with me, and it's not being treated. I also talk funny, so all that put together, I'm sure he had no idea what the fuck was going on. Most people read me normal as just weird, weird, weird. But you put me on 3 pills, yeah, I look fucked up. Even when I don't get myself fucked up. Even if I didn't help that lady, it didn't matter what I did that day. I was getting fucked up because I took my meds that morning. That cop was gonna fuck me up. But anyway, so this officer proceeded to tell me, after there was nothing on me, no drugs in my system, I have all my medication in my system, there's nothing wrong, I'm not high or intoxicated. By the way, when I met this lady, this was only 15 minutes before the officer. It only took me about 5 minutes of going in circles to get out of there. Ran into her, she pointed me the right direction, and 10 minutes going down this road. I had about 15 more minutes before the library. It's only about a 30-minute walk in between, maybe less. So it's only 15 minutes from meeting that lady at the pharmacy to when I met this officer. Nothing on me, no drugs. I wouldn't keep any drugs on me. Good thing I didn't, or this officer would have a much bigger deal with me. But he had nothing, nothing, absolutely nothing. Then he proceeds to say he's going to make something up, which at this point I flip out. I'm on 3 different pills that I shouldn't be taking, thanks to doctors and my mother. These are prescriptions that really messed with my head. I didn't know what was going on because I was on them for my whole life. I was even on more of them before this. I was on like 14, then I made it 10, then I made it like 7, and I just cutting and cutting and getting better and better and better. My mental health just kept on getting better as I cut more and more of these meds out of my life. So that was a great thing. But I was on 3 in the morning and like 4 more at night. So that's like 7 at this time. I was only about 20. I know I wasn't old enough to buy booze yet. I know that. So this cop proceeds to smash me into the ground. Oh, sorry. First, I should give my part. He says he's going to just frame me up. His exact words were, "I will make something up." Those were his exact words. But I took it as, "You're going to frame me." So I actually didn't need to stay in those cups. I was just staying in them to be polite. So I just slipped out of the cups and started beating him with his own cup. Yeah, I don't have any meat on me, and I'm so sick that I literally can make my hands as thin as my wrist anytime I want. I can even break my thumbs, like bend them enough where they can literally just like slip out skinnier than my wrist sometimes. The hardest part is the wideness in between the knuckles, what can be squeezed in. That's the hardest part right there. But they're zip ties. That's what they have to use on me, thanks to my sicknesses and all the food poisonings and everything. So, but I always stay in them anyways. I'm very polite about that. I stay in the cups. But not this time. You're going to frame me. So I just took them off and started beating him. Actually, I should say I made an X because I didn't actually beat him. I started backing away and making an X with the cuff. And then he proceeded to try to throw me on the ground and walk into the X, which proceeded to take a cuff and smack him on the side of the face and cut him open, where he probably shouldn't. He probably should have let me just back away. But anyways, at that point, 3 officers came out, smashed me into the ground, took my head, gave my head a couple extra smashings for good measure, which I went unconscious. Woke up in the hospital, which my drug test was fine. There was no drugs on me. They had the recording of the whole thing. And the nurse even asked me, and the nurse would not let the officers anywhere near me because every part of my story checked out. It even matched with what apparently the other officer said. And oh yeah, and all charges were dropped. Nothing was done, and they told me that the officer was just upset and that it would be best if I stayed out of Haverhill. When you cut open an officer's face and he's bleeding and he has a scar for the rest of his life, the only way that happens is if they fucked up big. And they did. And that probably made my seizures worse. I almost never had any severe seizures before that. Every 4 years, a fall, wake up without much memory, maybe a couple cuts on the back of the head or something. But it would never had any long, like couldn't walk for 3 days or couldn't talk properly for three. I mean, couldn't talk properly ever, but I mean like severely not be able to talk, like not verbal at all. Like that never really happened after a head injury or seizure until some of the more severe ones. At about 18, 19, I would say, the seizures got much worse. Now the shakes, those were constant. My knees shake, the twitches, and at Dr. Rosenblum's, they called them tics. This random neck and shoulder twitches, just like my arm or shoulder, or things wouldn't aim the right way. Like if I was trying to press a button, maybe my arm would be off by like an inch. It would just all of a sudden go off by an inch. These twitches and tics and shakes, and my knee going up and down by itself, where I just said it would just do that, and all these type of really it was like a shock and would go through my body. It's like getting a taser. That definitely got turned up. That definitely got turned up. And it all started during that overdose at about 7 in Westford. That's when I first felt it, and that's constant. But the actual full-blown fall down, blackout, seizure, I guess other people say I flop like a fish. I'm not awake for this. I've had some where I'm like, I guess awake, but it sure seems to be what I witness is what seems to be what people describe. But the full blown seizures, my whole body just straightens, and then I'm out. And then I just wake up fucked up. I wake up so cut up, and they say I was flopping around like a fish, but in place, like a seizure. Even the doctor at the emergency room ran my head through a machine and came back and said I had a seizure. He used another word in front of it. I can't remember if it was grandma or what it was, but it was a seizure. He did use another word. And I've had more. And I've had more scans. But the ones I have aren't always the same. Some drugs, if they're involved, like medications or sometimes actual drugs, totally make it different because then I have full blown seizure activity in the brain that's visible. And there's also different types of seizures, like staring seizures. And I've had these times where I don't know, stop. I get stuck in my body. I just can't do anything. I don't know what you call that, but maybe that has something connection. I don't know. But I've been going through this for a hell of a long time. So yeah, I guess that's a good place to end. Yep. I woke up in the hospital, no charges. They fucked up. I was on a lot of meds. Yeah, end there.